Have you ever wondered where the problems in the world today would exist if we had deeper connection to ourselves, others, and the environment and acted from that place? Welcome to the Conscious Action Podcast with your host, Brian Berneman, who believe that connection is the key to taking conscious action as individuals and creating a better world. We are here to raise awareness and inspire meaningful action by sharing stories, knowledge, and conversations with thought leaders and change makers. From sustainability to well-being and everything related to conscious living, our mission is to empower you to be the change that you want to see in the world.
Welcome to a new episode of the Conscious Action Podcast. I am Brian Berneman, your host. And for this episode, I wanted to explore a topic that I share a lot with my clients and with a lot of my students, which is how do we, in our modern busy life, are able to practice meditation when we don't have the time. This is something that why I talk a lot about conscious moments, which is as well the platform that I have for coming together and practicing. But one of the main things that I wanted to explore here is understanding how some quick meditation practices or even moments of 1-2 minutes are able to actually be so good. The short moments of being present are so beneficial, even in the midst of all of the challenges, perhaps all of the chaos, all of your work and family life. We all have 1-2 minutes at different moments during the day. Perhaps we believe that we are too busy or we are too busy to practice for half an hour, for 1 hour, or however long a meditation practice might be. But we all have 1-2 minutes. Meditation doesn't need to be sitting for that 1 hour. It is about the quality of awareness and presence, not the duration. I remember how one of my teachers a lot of times would tell me that if I just connected, even for a micro moment, that was enough. It didn't need to be a specifically amazing meditation practice. It didn't need to be something that I felt that happened specially. Just the moment to balance myself, to bring some clarity and calmness into my being, to, regulate my nervous system. Those were a lot of times enough. And there's this myth that I keep on coming across a lot of times. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to meditate. We all do. We might not have, as I'm saying, that 1 hour a day, because perhaps it's not a priority, or it's not something that we're used to, or it's not something that we want to do. But we all have 1-2 minutes. This, for me and for a lot of my clients through the years, have been so important. I remember I was having once a conversation with a client that she started to introduce at her workplace these micro moments. At the beginning, because she wasn't sure how others would feel around her, she used to go to the toilet and just sit there for 1 minute and practice. That was it. And she did that twice a day. And that started to get her to understand how different she was actually being, and was able to actually be much more productive and feel way less stress, and was able to actually communicate better with her coworkers. After that, she started to expand the time of the practice, the duration, and as well she started to practice on her desk. She would just close her eyes and for a minute just do that, because the people around her started to know that that was what she was doing. So a lot of times it is important to find these micro moments of stillness to regulate our nervous system and to support our health. So, finding in your days already those pockets of stillness, those moments in time that you can do this. The other day I was talking with a client and I was saying, every time you're going to have a meal, just taking 3 deep breaths. That's it. That's a micro moment of stillness. It's a moment of connection. It's a moment of slowing down. It's a conscious moment just to be and to be aware. And then continuing with whatever it is that you're doing and all of your external demands from life. The breath can be so important for that because we're all of the time breathing. And a lot of times, just to focus on the breath and do some breathing meditation, we don't even need to close our eyes. We can just be aware of our breath. So we can be working on the computer or we can be doing whatever and bringing our awareness to the breath. And perhaps counting in and counting out, a count of 4 in, a count of 6 or 8 out, or a more balanced count. It doesn't really matter so much which technique or count we do, or even if we're counting, it's just about bringing the awareness to the breath. Again, this is a way of becoming more present, of releasing some of the stress that we might be holding, potentially to create more space, more clarity in our minds. And a lot of times, as I'm saying, it's just a brief moment. And it's a brief moment where a lot of moments and a lot of times we can actually notice how we feel before and how we feel after. So I invite you to become more aware of your breath. Become more aware of your senses as well. Sometimes just some light touch, whether that is on your hands or your face or a self-massage, can be really good to get back to the present moment through your senses. Or if you are using your meals, perhaps smelling or the taste of your food and just focusing on that for a moment. That can be enough. Or some sound. This is why I love doing sound healings, because a lot of times we can focus on the sound, and that is the place, the object of our attention. So therefore, we might be letting go a little bit of our thoughts, letting go of our stress, just by bringing some focus into those places. So fully immersing in your senses can be so beneficial. To be present, to be here, to be now. Bringing some moments of stillness. Most of the day we're moving, we're doing things. Just being still for a moment, for a minute, for 2 minutes. If you need to, you can close your eyes or not. But it's about understanding that in that stillness, we might notice more of what is happening. Whether what's happening is the feelings and sensations in the body or thoughts in our head. And trying to not focus on anything specifically. Just allowing what arises. If thoughts come, just like the clouds in the sky, thoughts come and go. So just allow that to happen instead of going towards the thought. There's a lot of different ways, that we can find these micro moments of practice. We can connect with a sense of gratitude from our hearts. We can think of something or, think of a couple of things that we are grateful for and just connecting, perhaps having the hands on our heart and feeling that sense of gratitude. That is a way of rewiring our mood, of rewiring our system, of building more capacity to move from scarcity to abundance as well. And all of these practices that are quite short, these micro moments, these conscious moments, work because just in those brief moments, we're able to increase our focus, to be more present, to lower our cortisol levels, to rewire our brain, to self-regulate, moving from perhaps the sympathetic to the parasympathetic nervous system activation. It's a way of building more resilience. So, you know, this is about being present. Presence over perfection, presence over duration. If we are present, even for a micro moment, we are going to change how we are being and what we are doing as well. So I invite you to do that. Remembering all of the time, this is something that I share a lot of times with my client. Just remembering that peace, calmness, relaxation, balance, alignment, they're already within you. It's not something that you're trying to get. They are already there. They just need the space and a moment to be noticed, to be seen, to be heard, to be felt. So allowing that to be part of your days. For people that are a lot of times, that work with me, that are in busy offices, a lot of times I tell them just before a meeting, just take that one moment or go to the bathroom whenever you go to the bathroom and take that moment. In daily life as well, perhaps it's at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day, or perhaps it's, as I said before, when you're about to have a meal, just taking that moment and using things from daily life. A lot of times I see so many people that are stuck either in traffic or, waiting in line to get something. And instead of being on the phone in those moments, perhaps that's a wonderful place to practice, just to connect, to change the narrative of what's happening, especially if you are, waiting in line and you wanting to move a little bit faster. No? Instead of worrying or being anxious about that, just taking the time to practice. What a wonderful moment to have, to be present, to be aware. So just using those moments. So, if your life is busy, don't wait until you're able to have that spaciousness, that time of 1 hour or whatever length of time you're thinking that you need in order to practice. We can all create 1 or 2 minutes. We can all create these micro moments, these conscious moments to practice. So I invite you to try this. I invite you, if you haven't yet, to introduce these practices into your days. If you're not sure how to do this, this is why there's so many resources. There's a lot of meditations online. This is part of what I do with a lot of my clients. So if you're wanting to explore a little bit more with this, reach out to me. But the most important thing is starting or doing things differently. As always, I would love to know if anything from this episode resonated, if you already practice this. Perhaps you have a longer practice, or perhaps you already introduce into your days these small micro moments of practicing meditation and mindfulness and presence. I would love to hear about your experience. And as always, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye!
What did you like the most about this episode? Take a moment to think about what change you can make in your life today.
Share your conscious action on social media using #ConsciousAction and tagging @ConsciousActionNZ so we can celebrate your impact on the world and create a ripple effect.
One easy action we would love for you to take right now is to share, like, and subscribe to this podcast. This will help us get these messages out into the world and inspire more people to take conscious action in their own lives, contributing to the better world we hope for.